Hi everyone, this is Stacey Reynolds, and in this video, we'll be reviewing how to narrow your list of potential journals, which includes how to send query emails. Before you get too far into reviewing different journals, I highly recommend creating a journal matrix to keep everything organized. Here are some column headers you may consider, but you can include different headers as well. In addition to listing the journal's name, you may consider adding contact information. Usually this is the email of the editor, but some journals have a separate email that authors should use. You can also list things like the readership or mission and aims of the journal. Many journals publish different article types, like full-length articles or departments, columns, or brief reports. You can also note if the journal uses AMA versus APA or some other type of formatting for references, and the journal's impact factor. And I usually also include a column where I can add in the response that I get from my query email. So once you have your list of potential journals, you'll need to review each of them to see which ones may be a good fit with your manuscript. A good place to start is to review the journal's mission or scope statement and who their readership is. Here's an example of the mission statement for the Journal of Nursing Care Quality. The readership is practicing nurses, and they publish articles regarding the application of quality principles and concepts in the clinical setting. In contrast, for the Journal of Nursing Education, their readership is nurse educators, and they publish articles on teaching learning processes, curriculum development, and nursing education. In reviewing journals for your own manuscript, consider the journal's readership and mission to see if it's aligned with your project. Next, review some of the types of articles the journal publishes. For example, if you're wanting to publish a nurse-led QI project and the journal only publishes reports from qualitative research, that may not be the journal to target. Instead, you would want to look for a journal that publishes nurse-led QI projects. Also review the different types of articles the journal publishes to see if there is one that may fit well with your manuscript. As you're reviewing potential journals, I do want to highlight a special consideration around open access journals. Most articles are published through a traditional subscription model where readers have access through a subscription, either through libraries or by paying fees to professional organizations. For example, if you pay for membership to the American Association of Neuroscience Nurses, you have access to their Associated Journal of Neuroscience Nursing. However, open access is a publishing model where authors pay a fee, so articles are available to readers at no cost. This fee can be really expensive and potentially range anywhere from $800 to $10,000 per article. Open access journals are legitimate index journals and shouldn't be confused with predatory journals. You may decide to publish your article as open access if you want your findings to be widely disseminated to a large audience and if you have funds, like from a grant, that can cover the cost. Many journals offer a hybrid model where you can choose if you want to publish by subscription or open access. However, some journals only publish open access and require payment, so this is something to consider when you're looking at different journals. Let's take a look at an example. For this project, we identified several potential journals related to the topic, population, setting, and STEEP quality principles. Let's plug these journals into our matrix. Here we have our completed matrix with all 8 journals that we found. Let's say in reviewing the journal's websites, readership, and aims, you decide that 3 of the journals likely wouldn't be a good fit with your project, so we can remove them for the time being. Now that you've narrowed your list down to 5 potential journals, it's recommended you send a query email to the editor. These emails should be very short, only about 3 to 5 sentences, and include a brief overview of what the project is about and why you feel it would be a good fit with the journal. This helps the editor know that you have reviewed the journal's mission and understand the focus of the journal. Here's an example query email. After a brief introduction, the email provides a short description of the project and outcomes and how it's aligned with the journal scope. You can end by stating, are you interested in this manuscript, or do you feel it would be a good fit? You may also ask for the editor's input on what article type may be most appropriate. Overall, the email is simple, short, and to the point. It can be helpful to send a query email before you really begin writing the manuscript. This way you can format the manuscript correctly from the beginning. After you send a query email, the responses from editors may vary. They may tell you it's not a good fit with the journal, or it may not meet the journal's needs because they've published a lot of manuscripts on the same topic. They might be interested and recommend a specific angle to take to best align with the journal's mission. Or they may simply reply that they are interested in the manuscript or feel it aligns well with the journal. There are two important considerations regarding query emails. First is that receiving a favorable response from an editor does not guarantee that your manuscript will be published. Second, you can send as many query emails as you would like, but you can only submit your manuscript to one journal at a time. Let's go back to our example journal matrix. After sending out query emails, we completed the far right column of the matrix, which shows that 2 journals were not interested in the manuscript, 2 were interested, and 1 was very interested. It's great when you have multiple journals interested in your manuscript, but now how do you rank the journals and decide which one to submit to first? One option is to submit to the journal where you receive the most positive response. Recall from the matrix there was one journal where the editor was very interested. This would likely go to the top of my list. You can also rank the journals based on which ones you feel are most aligned with your topic. Or you may consider the journal's impact factor in your ranking. This is a calculation that measures the average frequency that articles published in that journal were cited. Essentially, this is a proxy measure of the quality of the journal. Let's go back to our matrix where we now have the 3 journals which we received a positive response from the query email. To rank the journals, we may consider putting the Journal of Trauma Nursing at the top, since we received the most positive response from the editor. It may be a toss-up for how you rank the other 2 journals, but you may consider ranking the Journal of Perioperative Practice second, since it has a slightly higher impact factor. With this list, you would format your manuscript per author guidelines and submit to the Journal of Trauma Nursing. Ideally, the manuscript would be sent out for peer review, you would revise it based on reviewers' feedback, and it would be accepted. But if the manuscript is rejected, which happens, and that's okay, you would simply move down the list and submit next to the Journal of Perioperative Practice, and if needed, then to the Orthopedic Nursing Journal. To recap this video, we discussed creating a journal matrix to organize information about each journal, such as their mission and scope, readership, article types, and impact factor, as well as the editor's response to your query email. This information allows you to rank the top 3 to 5 journals to send your manuscript to, keeping in mind that you can only submit to one journal at a time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next video.